TikTokers out there. I'm not late. Oh, shit. I've been up at 5 a.m. I'm ready to cycle through the jazz. I'm ready to cycle through rock. I'm listening to some electronic or something now. Keep my ears here. I'm going to make it through that. Oh, let's move the microphone close to your mouth, idiot. Good morning, everybody. These always take a while to pick up traction, so let's just chat. I'll read some chats. By the way, I was going to read you guys' smart-ass comments when this went live yesterday, apparently, ahead of time. Everybody leaving some smart-ass remarks on there. I went back. For some reason, those comments were still up for a while, but this morning they're gone. So can't read them, but yeah, appreciate smart assness. Where are my live comments? Let's greet some people. West Side, been in here since before it started. Are you gone now that we started? All right, here's the live comments. Everybody telling me to fix the microphone that I fixed. Good morning, Kent, Josh, Rookie, Juan, Renee. I was special at 5'2". Weren't we all? Don't worry, bruh. Michael de Fondemare. Good morning to you. Robert C. There is a slight echo. Should not be one anymore. Instant topic. Ronnie James. Yeah. I'm no expert. Hello. I'm glad Clay did well in his Mavs debut. Yeah. I was so sick of Clay hurting the Warriors that I'm not so sure that I am. I mean, I said good for him if he figures out whatever's wrong with him mentally. But on the other hand, it's not very fair that he made the Warriors suffer like that. What up to you, Wes? Salute Juan Romo. You know who I haven't seen on here in a while is Thanos, Snap Feminism. I was checking my members. I've got some new members. I've got quite a few new members, and I just wanted to say thank you. You guys know my personality. I don't spend much time with all this polite stuff, but gratitude is necessary. Thank you, members. And Thanos, I was mentioning you because you have been a member for 22 months, which is probably how long I've been monetized. I have not actually been monetized for very long. Thank you, Matthew. Members, speaking of members, I put up a poll for members to answer. I put up a bunch of, a couple of awful coaching parodies in the members section. And I said, I've got to share one of these. And they were a little bit confusing. They were almost split, but the one about making fun of LeBron being surgical won out over the one I did being sarcastic about over complimenting everything Anthony Davis did. So at 10:15, right after this, everyone tune in and watch the LeBron James surgically destroys his opponents. All right, let's go get the call-in link ready. I've got a big old gripey monologue ready. Speaking of, you know what? I go for my morning jogs and I listen to everybody, or I work in the yard and I listen to more people, and I'm just overwhelmed with content to talk about. It's part of what's confusing about whether or not to keep doing this. You guys hear me contemplating hanging it up a lot, because you got to wonder if the sports media is just baiting us. The stupid shit coming out of their mouths and the stupid things that LeBron James himself does. It's like, am I going to rush to go talk about this every time? I guess that's what we're doing here, right? We're commiserating. We're like around the coffee machine at work talking about how terrible the game was and things like that. We're all suffering together here. But yesterday when I scheduled this, I had just listened to Sports and Fitness Rants talking about LeBron James doing the victimhood speech yet again. And I was so fired up. I was so angry. I came home and I was like, I've got to schedule something to talk about that. But by the end of the day, I had about 30 more shows to talk about. So what to begin with? As people filter in here, I just put the call-in link. Let me go and actually edit the video itself, the video description, so that it's in there. So if you guys can't find it or are having trouble finding it, you can actually go into the video description. I also just put it in the live chat. May or may not have some special guests calling in. Morian, Phenomenal Fitness is already waiting. Apologies, sir. There he is. I can't hear you yet.
What's up, man?
Good morning.
Morning.
Are you sure you want to be on already? Because I've got a big list of things to bitch about before I even let anyone else bitch.
Sure, I can sit and listen.
You can chime in. It's fine. I'm just warning you. Oh, boy. So I was just talking about how I can't keep up with the things. And this morning, of course, maybe the number one topic is Stephen A. Smith and his double standards against Kawhi, and just leaving out that LeBron James matches absolutely everything that he criticized Kawhi for.
Yeah, exactly.
I listened to 93 Zay's take on it, and I didn't even bother listening to Sports and Fitness Rants because I knew I would just get too worked up. I'm just going to be too mad by the time I even came on here. But, how many people watching? Shall we start? Man, so many of these topics overlap. And let me just close the window. It's getting crazy here. Helicopters, people wanting to, I don't know, high crime neighborhood here or something. They're looking for somebody. I don't think it's me today. These guys saying that LeBron James earned this, the brawny thing, the making a mockery thing, that's a disgusting thing to say, in my opinion, because you're prioritizing someone's self-indulgence over the game. And we could talk the entire show about that aspect of it alone. But when you hear Stephen A. Smith say what he said about Kawhi Leonard, and you realize that all that does is bring attention to the fact that LeBron James is guilty of all of that, then they've just provided all the proof that we need that LeBron James didn't earn shit. Even if you wanted to say that such a thing exists, that you can earn the right to manipulate a draft and earn the right to make a mockery of a franchise like the Lakers, which is absurd enough in itself. LeBron James hasn't earned anything. And maybe one of the last people I heard last night, and again, I was listening to someone else's channel because I won't go and listen to these mainstream idiots, but Colin Cowherd said, LeBron James carried the league for 15 years. And so I get it. He says, I get it. They act like we didn't have other great players in the league, wonderful players in the league. I mean, what the dynasty of the Spurs didn't exist during that period of time? How many players were shunned for the sake of glorifying LeBron James? LeBron James didn't do anything for the league. The league did things for him. And then you turn around and just spin the narrative and say that LeBron James did all this for the league and therefore we owe him. And forgive me, I know you're being patient. I told you I've got a monologue here. So LeBron James, or Brian Windhorst, and now others are echoing Brian Windhorst, after they run out of their justifications, their excuses, their speeches, and they lose the argument for why Bronny is, in fact, an NBA caliber player when he clearly isn't, then they resort to saying, well, what LeBron James was doing this whole time was using leverage. All he was doing was leveraging the Lakers. And they say LeBron James needed this to motivate him. LeBron James needed this to motivate him to play for a team that's paying him $50 million in a league where the entire sports media promotes him and spreads his lies. This guy can't just be thankful and say, oh, thank you for all of this. Thank you for the opportunity to keep playing when I'm a sorry ass, no talent, bulldozing piece of trash. No, this guy needs to be appeased. That wasn't enough. We need to appease a guy who supposedly loves the game in order to convince him to try or to care. Could anything more clearly spell that LeBron James doesn't care about the game and only cares about himself? And the people defending LeBron James don't even understand that they're condemning him with their own words because the public in the United States of America is so dumb that it works. They can't figure this out on their own. And that's why I come on here. I'm like, hoping to reach somebody, hoping somebody can hear this and think for themselves. I'm going to let Steam Engine in. Steam Engine, go ahead and give us your list of excuses for why your equipment isn't working properly. And
well, I mean, the only reason I'm here is because I noticed that your audience was kind of dropping off a little bit the more you were talking. So, here I am trying to save the show.
Listen, don't tell lies. Don't come on here telling lies. Trying to.
Hey, what up, Fitness? What up?
What's up?
No, I'm actually not able to be on camera, but I'm here. I'm available.
All right. You want a private message when since you can't come on screen, just private message when you want to chime in, because I've got a whole monologue to still get through here. Or do you want?
You're kicking me out, is what you're saying?
I'd rather have Maureen's face up there bigger in the screen than your avatar.
Bucket, you know what? Because you're talking about high crime neighborhoods, which is just code for black people. So I'll let you get that off. Are you going to be doing this for how long do you think you'll be on?
I intend to end it at 10:15 when the parody I made of awful coaching goes public.
All right, so that's 1:15 my way. All right, I will see you gentlemen in a little bit.
All right, looking forward to
Peace.
All right, man.
See you guys.
All right, I chime in. Go ahead. I'm gonna go through my notes, and I've got so much to complain about. Go ahead and chime in on just that part.
Well, with the whole Stephen A. Smith, that's why I threw that clip in my video, because I made sure that he said it multiple times, because I cut out the parts where the other filler that he had to just put that in there, because he just admitted what we've been saying this whole time. Everybody's looking at us and calling us haters for the very things that we've been saying. We like, this is manufactured, and this has nothing to do with Bronny earning it. First, JJ Redick comes out and says Bronny earned this. Everybody's trying to convince us that Bronny earned this. Now the cat's out the bag, which it really shouldn't have never been. In the first place, it's obvious that this is a manufactured move. Then they had the audacity to put Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. on there as if it's the same thing, which is a form of manipulation. So y'all are now, the younger audience is like, oh man, this is just like Ken Griffey Jr. and his father when they play. No, Bronny is not on that level. We would not be tripping about it. A lot of us, I know you wouldn't. All the people that I know, people that have a thinking mind, we wouldn't care if Bronny was a college standout or something, and he was out here balling out, and he was good enough to make it in the league, and him and his father played together. But the fact that you guys are putting out all these false narratives, oh, now the Golden State Warriors wanted him too. Oh, the Phoenix Suns are gonna draft him, but Rich Paul told them only the Lakers can draft him. Nobody wanted this guy. This is all manufactured, and y'all sitting here lying about it. And now you're going to tell us straight up, which we already knew, this is all about LeBron. That's all. That's all this is all about. Which is a statement of his whole career. His whole career has been manufactured the same way. Everything about him has been manufactured this way, where they're going to move heaven and earth to make sure that he gets some type of glory.
That was another point. I'm glad you said the word manufactured, because even the people that are afraid in the media to really cross LeBron still kind of say this didn't feel organic. That was the biggest criticism that they could say. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're manufacturing history, you've taken away the value of history. Like, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, that's what's special about making history. You know, everybody talks about this has never been done. We've never had this father-son duo. And it's only happened with the Griffeys and baseball. These things are rare for a reason, because getting two people who are worthy of being on a professional stage at the same time is hard to do. That's not what happened here. LeBron James Jr. does not deserve to be there. He should not be there. LeBron James manipulated the league, and they turned around and praised it. LeBron James forced something to happen, which makes history a joke now. It's not, history doesn't mean anything anymore if you're allowed to manufacture history. It's no longer a special event. All you have to do is keep saying, hey, it's okay to manipulate things. I mean, this opens the door. Not only did LeBron James do it, but now the media is going on television and telling everybody that it's okay to do it. And therefore, it's going to keep happening. And history is just going to be a bunch of bullshit now. Whoever had enough money to make something happen and pay off the media to say that it was a special moment, that's what history is going to be.
Yeah, it makes me question a lot of the other stuff he's done. Like we was even talking about the 40,000 points and all these different things. It all feels manufactured. Like him going to the Heat, you blocked the Chris Paul trade, but these guys were able to collude behind. These guys were able to collude to join forces with each other, which is you're not supposed to be able to do. And that happens. Then he goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're able to get Kevin Love to join. You took a whole franchise player. You were able to do this twice. Then you get Anthony Davis with Clutch Sports. You use Clutch Sports, sign him. Like, this is all manufactured. You are able to get a top 5 player. Like Anthony Davis at that time, he was in MVP conversations every year. You're able to sign this man to your own agency, which is not his agency, and get this man on your team and get away with it. They're doing this in front of our faces. And I'm like, this is a message to, this is an example of what we see in society and politics and everything else. That they're doing it in sports. they're doing it in other areas too. That's what people don't realize. But I'm like, you guys are literally doing this in our faces and just saying everything is okay. Is the line gonna be drawn in the sand? It don't look like it's going to be anytime soon.
Well, and exactly. They keep showing us that it's okay by, well, the commentators are defending it. And every time that it doesn't get condemned and moves forward, you're telling society that it's okay. I was watching an old game, and I mentioned it on one of my videos, and someone had run out onto the court, and they didn't show it. And the announcer said, "We're not going to show this." That's what you're supposed to do if you don't want people to continue to do things like that. Neil, by the way, I see you waiting. Thank you for your patience. I'll let you in a second to say your piece. This is a caller. I guess you're not calling. Can we call it calling? We'll call it calling. Orion, you brought up a couple of great points that I hope. I lost him. Where is he? There you are. Come up. Remind me.
Rain.
You talking about the Miami thing? Remind me. I've got to go off on the victimhood thing of LeBron James. And here, I'll let Neil. There's Neil. Oh, we got King's Speech also. Guys, just to warn you, it's early in the show, so come in, say your bit, and be done like a regular call show. And it's not just chat time, so get ready. And Neil, I'm letting you on. Say your bit. Welcome to the show, Neil.
Hey, AOH. Good to see you. How's it going, Morion?
What's up?
All right. So if I only have a little time, I'll mention the thing that's been kind of on my mind. So, well, I guess first of all, I like what you guys are going on about. Certainly, the Bronny thing is silly. But my main point is a lot of people like to compare LeBron and Jordan and things like that. But it's silly to me because if you imagine switching LeBron and Michael, how many championships would LeBron have with that roster?
Michael would get bored.
Michael would. Yeah, like I mean, LeBron probably seriously couldn't get any results at all with Pippen as his next best player. Certainly with Pau Gasol as his next best player. I think that's like the biggest argument against LeBron being in the discussion.
No, LeBron James as a person is the poster child for it's okay to not be better. And that's why people come on my channel who are LeBron fans and defend bad things. And they're like, why are you criticizing this man for what he did? I'm like, did you just look at what he did? Why are you defending what he did? I mean, what is your motivation?
It's a lot like
bad things.
It's a lot like politics too, because some of these people that we see in politics, I'm not going to call anyone out, but like some of these people, I'm wondering where do they come from? Why are they on TV? Somebody in some back room made a deal with them and chose them, you know?
Well, look how easy to manipulate. Look how easily manipulated sports fans are. I mean, it's just really like politics. A representation of the entire country. So if they can do it, why wouldn't politicians be able to do it? It's whoever controls the media, right?
Yeah. So that was my main point, just that switch places and you can see there's no way LeBron would carry a team without a basically someone doing all the heavy lifting. Where Michael was like doing all the heavy lifting on both ends of the court. Larry was doing a lot of heavy lifting, diving for those balls. Yeah, it's just embarrassing.
Neil, you're welcome to call back in again later. I appreciate you keeping it short and sweet so we can keep people coming through. Thank you. And, I just want to finish my thought. LeBron James, as a person that we make excuses for, is not the type of person who's going to develop a player. Scottie Pippen himself said that he didn't have the work ethic, wouldn't have and he needed Michael. And you can see that. You can see that in Scottie's body language and his weak ass arguments and the fact that he's playing the victimhood mentality now in his life. You can see that. And what's his name? King is gone. King's Speech is gone. So Maureen, you got anything to respond to out of all that?
I mean, I agree with the whole politician thing. I said LeBron was a politician. That's what I compare him to. And we see the propaganda. That's what that video that I did was about. Was just all the propaganda that we see throughout time. Like this dude literally tries to go back and rewrite history, and as if we didn't see it. And you're right, society, a lot of times, a lot of people really don't like to think. They just like to accept things for whatever they are. Whatever is the trend, whatever the wave is at that time, they're gonna ride that wave. And if the tides turn, they're gonna jump on that bandwagon too. So if the media decides tomorrow and everybody says, well, we need a new guy to replace LeBron now. Just like when Jordan left, they needed LeBron. They get a new guy and they start tearing down LeBron, all these fanboys gonna switch sides. That's what they do. A lot of these people, they're not critical thinkers. They're casual fans. I really don't take them seriously. Their points don't make any sense, and it just shows you how society is. People ride with whatever is popular. There was a time when homophobia and dudes can use all type of words and rap songs and all that stuff, and now we see that you can't do that. Comedians are more censored now because that's just the times we living in, and a lot of people ride that way. They don't really believe what they're saying. They just gonna ride the way because that's what's popular to say. So they gonna ride with what everybody's doing. That's what I feel like it is with LeBron. I don't
Well,
feel like either these dudes are Jordan haters or they're people that just ride the wave.
You know, you touched on something. This virtuous society that we live in, people are just using different words, but deep down you think the same thing. You are who you are. You feel how you feel. But when you talk, you have to use words that have been deemed acceptable now. It's still, if the goal of the statement is offensive, then it doesn't matter what words you use. But we have to work hard not to talk about society here because we'll spin off big time. It's hard to come back from it. But I will use what you said about spinning the narrative to talk about Stephen A. Smith again, because if you want to believe what Stephen A. Smith said, then you will. But if you're a critical thinker, you understand that LeBron James is guilty for exactly what he condemned Kawhi for, unfortunately. And I'll give credit to 93 Zay for going out and getting the data. In the last 6 years, LeBron James has played 10 more games than Joel Embiid. In 5 years, he's played 5 more games than Kawhi Leonard. Embiid and Kawhi are the first two names I think of when I think of people who haven't been playing. And yet, LeBron James barely has more games than they do, and he's getting called the guy who is deserving to manipulate the league because of what he's brought to the game. And yet he's sitting out. And let me beat you LeBron fans to the punch here. You're going to say, oh, he's 39. Then don't fucking play anymore. If you can't stay on the court, don't play, and don't make me listen to commercials about him beating Father Time while he's not playing. You don't get to say the, oh, he's old thing and then congratulate him for defeating Father Time. Handsome guy. I'll let you in real quick. We're doing colors quick today.
Oh, gotcha.
You're on.
How's it going, guys?
What's up?
I've been a big fan of yours for a while. You speak a lot of truth about LeBron. But I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
So we all know LeBron isn't the GOAT. I mean, that's like the most obvious fact that's ever been facted. But you have said in the past that he's not the second best. Who is the?
Handsome guy, just so you know, we didn't hear that. You cut out. And
Yes, there you go.
Go ahead.
Oh,
all right.
I think he's gonna ask who's the second best player. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. I got the gist of it. And to keep this moving fast, I'm just not gonna mess with the bad connections. I don't really spend time worrying about this. I'm more upset about the fact that LeBron James is the opposite of anyone that you should ever look up to in sports. And it's offensive to put him in the top anything, in my opinion. Like every year that I actually have a chance to analyze his game more, he drops out of, I don't know, you guys will call me crazy, but see, I don't spend time. I don't put a big long list on the board, but if I think about players that I enjoyed watching and look at their hustle and their work ethic, I have to assume that LeBron James isn't in my top 50. But you know, I measure people by how they represent themselves too, not whether or not during an entire career of being helped to succeed, you finally succeed a handful of times. Like, that's not impressive. And look what he's doing now. The man defies the rules of basketball in order to still get some shit points, and they allow it. Don't talk to me about how many points he's managed to accumulate when the league has literally allowed him to cheat in order to achieve those things. Maureen, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's all manufactured. So if he's allowed to take 3, 4, 5 steps, charge over people, and break all the rules, he's not playing within the parameters of the game. You know, that doesn't make sense. That's like a boxer. He gets points no matter where he hits you at. Like, we know that when dudes box, you got to get clean shots for the points to count. But if they had a boxer because they wanted him to be the best boxer ever, and he wins every fight on points, because no matter where he throws that punch, they're gonna score it. Then I don't take that the same as somebody who actually earns the wins based on within the parameters of the game. So this man is able to color outside the lines with his son and all this other stuff. So yeah, you got compilation videos of him traveling. I've seen dudes, even whenever he first started playing in the early years, I remember guys having videos coming out saying this man is charging. He's been doing this. It's not like he waited till late in his career to do this. He's been doing this since early on in his career. He's been taking extra steps, lowering his shoulder, crybaby, all this stuff he's been doing. It's just gotten worse, but he's been doing it.
It's true. And speaking of boxing, you know, Stephen A. Smith said that he would have told Kawhi Leonard's clan to their faces that Kawhi Leonard is the worst superstar ever. No, stop it. Stephen A. Smith trying to sound tough is infuriating. It's infuriating. I can't see you. Oh, there you are. I don't know. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith would tell me off to my face, much less Kawhi Leonard and his clan. Fake tough guy. King's speech. You heard how we're doing it. We're doing it fast. Go ahead and deliver what you got to say.
Gotcha. Can you hear me good?
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, I just wanted to get on the whole Bron thing. I was thinking of something this weekend. You know, like everybody's making it a flex that, you know, he had the power to get his son on, you know, son in the league. And I was thinking, like, what if Bron was Floyd Mayweather? What if Floyd Mayweather wanted to do the same thing Bron did, right? Put his son on a super card with him, right? So it'd be the first father-son to, like, fight on the same card. And Floyd Mayweather's son had the same skill level and same attitude an approach to boxing that Bronny had, because this is coming up the heels of Gilbert saying Bronny wants to be an influencer, not really a basketball player, right? So he's making that excuse. Well, if Floyd Mayweather did that with his son would probably die in the ring. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the amount of respect that Bron has for the game. That he would put his son, and we all can see. Look, now we have to sit here and be delusional and not report on what we see. He is a 6'1" wing with a little bit of he's a 6'1" wing, right? With a little bit of athleticism, but he cannot bring the ball up the court. 18 years of training, your son cannot handle the rock and run any type of offense. So he does not belong in the league. Like, we can be delusional all we want. He's a 6'1" shooting guard who can't shoot. Like, what are we doing? And we have to be delusional and cannot say what we're seeing because the media will attack you as a hater.
Thank you, King Speech. I mean, that jumps right to it. It's like, hey, in basketball, nobody can knock your ass out and cause you brain damage. Well, LeBron tries to and almost gets away with it. But, you know, that really That really kind of summed it up. I've got Dallas. I've got a few callers. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for your patience. We'll take a couple more callers. Dallas, welcome back. You're on. Always looking sharp. Can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. Trying to hold it down, man. Trying to hold it down. I'm not going to talk too long. I'll give you my quick rants. My number one rant is, this is even just the game in general. From watching these opening games, I don't like it at all, because the best shot that every team seems to be able to get is a contested 3-pointer. It's like they pass around the perimeter, and it's like free for all. Guys that can't shoot threes are shooting threes, and it's just a bad product right now. Two, when I watched the Minnesota Lakers game, I swear LeBron traveled with 2 times within the first 5 minutes, and they did not even call. I stopped watching after. I said, they're gonna lose. Minnesota's gonna lose. When I saw that, I was like, all right, let's see what this is. My third one is Anthony Edwards. Everybody's talking about Anthony Edwards as being that next guy, right? And I even for a moment, for a couple of games, I was like, this dude, okay. I'm like, you mean to tell me you worked out all summer and worked on your game to come back to just take more threes? You're taking more threes now? instead of showing a little post game, getting in the lane, maybe taking a three when you're wide open, not an off the dribble three, where you're out of the play and you can't rebound. But those 3 things are 3 things that this week I'm just like, man, it makes me just not want to watch the game. And then what I'll do a lot of times is watch the old games to make sure I'm not crazy. And I realize it's just better games. It's just better games because it's plays being ran. The coach actually runs the team, and the guys got to abide by the rules. It's just a different ball game. But I'll sit back and check you guys out, man.
Dallas, don't go away. I might want you to feedback on this one. By the way,
Okay.
you need to email me, because I wanted to schedule you to come on for a special show. What's your actual YouTube handle?
It's just my name is Dallas, and then my last name Rockmore. It's ROQUEMORE.
I'll expose myself here. Just email me, angryoldhoops@gmail.com.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
But while I was watching that T-Wolves Lakers game, I was saying the same thing about Anthony Edwards. I was like, Anthony Edwards, you guys are getting cooked. When are you going to take over? When are you going to do anything that looks remotely like a Michael Jordan? I was so offended that they compared him to Michael Jordan. I mean, Anthony Davis was like stopping him from getting to the hole. Austin Reeves was stopping him from getting to the hole. And you're right, he chucked up a bunch of shit threes. And how embarrassing is it that somebody that's being called the next Michael Jordan screams, "Hey, ref," every single time? I mean, every time it's his thing. He's known for it. And you're supposed to be the next Michael Jordan? What kind of men do we have playing in the league? You scream every time you drive, and we're supposed to look up to this guy as a competitor. It's disgusting. And
Let me add.
go ahead. How the rebounding was. We all know that Austin Reeves was out rebounding the tallest guys on the T-Wolves team, and then I made a parody that's just in the members section of Anthony Davis being a surgical genius. And dude, he was doing it too. And after I watched enough rebounds be given up to the Lakers, I started thinking, okay, was it planned to make sure that the Lakers won this game with Bronny and LeBron? You didn't want yet another asterisk on LeBron's big nights, if you want to call manufactured history a big night.
Right.
I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but the fucking Timberwolves can't out-rebound the Lakers
Right.
at all?
Can I say this real quick? And I know y'all got other calls.
Yeah, of course.
From watching, I'm gonna tell you a couple of other things in that game that I didn't understand. So you mean to tell me y'all got this rookie that in the preseason been showing all preseason that he should be the backup point guard, Dillingham from Kentucky? He's not even playing? I was like, how is he not playing? Mike Conley was like 1 for 7, and he's about to retire. Like, why wouldn't you have him playing? So I was just like, I'm looking at that game like, this doesn't make any sense at all. And then Rudy Gobert is just useless. I watch him play, and I'm just like, I really do not understand how he's in the league. I really, it's nothing that he can do on offense. I mean, literally, he can't even catch if his feet are not set and he's wide open. Even if that's the case, he still may fumble the ball out of bounds. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, so when I look at and I just look at and I look at Anthony Edwards and I'm just like, dude, you talk all this trash. You know, you just and I'm looking at you play and I'm just like, you're supposed to be better than that based on what everybody's telling me. You know what I mean? If they were going to
I was shocked by Gobert. I've never seen anyone who looks like they care less. And I thought for sure that I just hadn't watched him carefully, because there's no way that you could mistakenly give somebody DPOY 4 times. But I don't. What I saw that night made me very confused as to what the fuck he's doing even in the NBA.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how? I'm so confused about that. I'm just like, I look at him. How is this guy? Y'all trade. As much as I'm not a fan of Karl Anthony Towns, I'm like, he got a little bit more skill than Gobert.
Apparently,
you traded him for Gobert. Like, I was so confused. So, and then with LeBron, I look at LeBron and I'm just like, and it's hard talking to people that's LeBron fans, because it's just like, nobody can convince me. When I watch LeBron play, I'm like you. It's hard for me to put him in top 25, top 30, because I watch this game and I'm like, you charge because you can't dribble. That's why you charging. You do all of these things because you just now got somewhat of a jump shot. It took 20 years to really get a shot that we may not leave you open. But before that, it's like, it's so obvious though. But it's kind of like you got 2 types of people right now. You got people where you know things are more than what it looks like. You got people that think like that. Then you got other people where no matter what they see, if it's on paper, then they just be like, you know what, it don't matter because he did score 30 points. You got to give him credit for that. And I'm like, it's more than what it looked like. When did he score those 30 points? Who he's playing against? Are they guarding him? You know, all these type of things. So it's kind of like, it's just bad for the game. And it makes me sad because I love basketball, man. It's so beautiful when it's played great, and you got the competitive things going on. And now it's just turned into an entertainment where it's just like, and it's not entertaining, you know, but man, it's crazy.
Dallas, 1 second. Shit, or OSHH and Miguel, I see you waiting. Thank you for your patience. I need to give them a turn, but Dallas, you said something. Now I have to bring it up. I think it was Uncommon Sense. Do you listen to Uncommon Sense?
I do.
Okay. I think Uncommon Sense had Vernon Maxwell had an audio clip of Vernon Maxwell, and you know that guy. He's just cussing up a storm and sounding hardcore, and I'm just and I started. They were talking about who's guarding who and whatnot, and I just had a flash of LeBron James trying to play against someone like Vernon Maxwell, and how poorly that would have gone. And then from there, I went to thinking, if any good defender in the NBA right now actually made an effort on LeBron James, it wouldn't be very hard to lock him up. I mean,
facts.
I mean, he doesn't have a good move to get free. So if you go and you crowd his space, how does he get out of it? By cheating. He offensive fouls the shit out of people, but that's not a basketball move.
Yep.
Now, so you drive to the rim. He drives. If you take away the offensive foul and somebody's playing him tight, no. So what's LeBron James developed recently? His 3-point shot that nobody will contest. So just imagine a good defender at all actually trying against LeBron James. He has no move to compete against that. Dallas, I hope you'll call back in. I've got to give some other people a chance.
Okay, I'm going to sit back and listen. Thanks for bringing me on. And I'll send you that information, bro.
Cool. And we will bring in O blankety blank. How am I supposed to say that?
You could just say, oh, it's cool. It's a play on my real name.
Oh, it's about old school. There's my dirty mind. I thought it was cussing.
Nah, nah. It's like I said, it's a play on my actual government name, but it just always fine.
Go ahead.
Look, my quick rant. I just wanted to mention something, man, that doesn't get covered on any of these streams in anywhere. Nick Wright won't say it. You'll never hear Stephen A. mention it. Any of these dudes, because the second that you do, this whole fake narrative of LeBron versus Mike will be totally destroyed. None of them want it. They use it for money. But if you just look at it on a whole, in all the sports, we gauge you on everything is about getting to championships, winning at the highest level, correct? That's what we all watch for. And Nick Wright loves to bring up, nobody loves to include Michael Jordan's first 7 years of his career, whatever. That's complete nonsense. Any of us that love the sport, his first 7 years is what built him, because you watched him struggle, you watched him fight, you watched him claw, you finally watched him get to the pinnacle. Now, this is my thing, which nobody has ever mentioned. Do y'all understand? The first time that man reached the pinnacle, the finals, every year after that, and every year he played for the Bulls after that for a full season, he was coming home with at least 2 trophies. Nobody ever mentions that. That is called dominance that I've yet to see in any sport, other than I think, who was it? Hamlin in NASCAR winning what was like the 8th straight. Other than that, I have yet to see any play in any sport. The first time they finally get to the pinnacle, every season after that, because they'll all tell you, yeah, it's about championships. That was his standard. Once he figured out how to win, that's all it was about. And you couldn't stop him. Like he said in The Last Dance, you can't win until we stop playing. And to me, that's literally why he's still not just to go to a ball. He's one of the greatest athletes in any sport you will ever see, just because of that. You watch the man struggle. He got to a point, and then after that, once he figured it out, it was over with. Tom Brady can't even say that. Once he figured out how to win, it was over, which is why you see this boy that they propped up. He's never learned how to win. What he did was he finagled the way how to win. You accumulate as much talent as you can, and it'll hopefully get you over the hump and you win, which is why he can't win now, because you can't use that. You will never be able to win because you never learned how to win. You learned how to finagle a way to get yourself a win.
Speaking of finagling it, I watched some old videos from like when LeBron first went to Miami, and it was still Stephen A. versus Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
And, Stephen A., it's good cop, bad cop. And Stephen A. is supposed to be defending LeBron. But at that point, he couldn't even defend LeBron.
Because you have nothing to stand on.
But he changed his tune. They switched to, well, there's nothing wrong with what he went to Miami for, because he knew that he needed. But Stephen A. Smith literally out of his mouth says LeBron understands that he needed the guy who can get it done in Dwayne Wade and whatever.
Yeah, he said he's not an alpha. You recognize that, but yet
and now he's changed the tune again, because that's what the media requires him to.
Exactly. But then when you hold their feet to the fire and you ask them the direct question, tell me, what has this brother ever won without being able to manipulate the situation to where he has an advantage? They'll run from that question. They will never answer that. Never. Everything he's done in his career has an asterisk next to it. From the first championship on to the bubble one, it all has an asterisk next to it. Like I said, you've never learned how to win. And that all starts with you skipping the process of going to college, jumping straight into the league, everything given to you. You didn't have to learn how to do anything. And for all the people that want to tell you, oh, he don't listen to this, he heard every single thing that these dudes were saying about him, which is why he jumped ship from. Just ask any of them. Well, then why did he leave Cleveland? They'll tell you, oh, because he's a free agent, he can do what he wants. Okay, cool, but that's not telling me why he left. That's telling me why he could have, but why did he leave? Because he heard all of these dudes talking about him in the same ilk as Barkley and Ewing. You're a king that has no clothes. You don't have anything. You've won nothing. So his mind is, I've got to do whatever I can to get this wing so they cannot hold that against me. Whether it be me manipulating the situation, me tearing down another franchise just to get dudes in here and do whatever it is for me to get a ring. And that's what. And from that point forward, he's been a straight mercenary. So you might have seen me post this on your site. LeBron is the tournament.
That's cutting out old school. I seriously appreciated the excellent input you had there. I've got like 3 or 4 more people waiting in the background. But Maury and I haven't even let you talk in a while. You must have some things to spit back out after hearing all that.
Yeah, I mean, he was on point because I even brought up this point. His first championship was in the strike shortened season. The first one he actually won, it was a strike shortened season. They said 1999 with the Spurs was an asterisk. So that one, but they don't bring that up whenever he won his first. When he won the one after that, when he won the one against the Spurs, that one took 7 games, a Ray Allen, and then a lot of calls was missed. I even remember when you played the video over and I was watching the game again. I watched it live, but watching it again, I was like, yeah, it was a lot of calls that was missed on the Heat side where the Spurs still should have won that game. Then the one that he won against in 2016 took a miracle. And then you have the bubble championship. So every one of his championships, you can look at them under scrutiny and be like, it's a miracle that you won any of these. The bubble championship, you played against the weakest competition, some of the weakest competition in NBA history. And they always bring up Jordan's competition, but you played against a Heat team that was weakened. And they don't ever bring that up. I'm like, he played against a Heat team that had
Oh, we don't have to waste
no
time talking
top
about 2020. 2020 is not legitimate on any freaking level.
Yeah, I'm
Just-
like all of these different things, man. Like it doesn't. That's. So he made some great points. When you scrutinize every single one of the championships that he's actually won, it's a miracle that he has any of those. They all
Yeah.
have like, but this. You can say something about each and every one of them.
Miguel, you've been very patient. You're coming on.
Hey, what's good, y'all? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me. Angry Hoops. I gotta say I'm a big fan.
Cool.
I'm not here, so I'm not gonna really beat a dead horse because all of my opinions about LeBron are basically old videos of AOH. But we all know of his lack of talent, his lack of achievements, the nepotism that was created. You just got to think, if somebody he's not thinking, should I do something, and he's thinking, of course, yeah, I'll do it, but I'm sorry, I'm getting a little mixed up. I'm on the spot here, but you get my point. If somebody should do something or not, and then you tell somebody, if you could do something, would you do it? Miami. Look at
bummer.
the Olympics. Look at what's going
Miguel waited all that time and then his connection cut out. I lost Morian too. Maybe it's my connection. We'll try again in a second, Miguel. And there's Morian. And I'm No Expert's been waiting also. I'm No Expert. You know how we're doing it today?
I know.
Spit your piece, and then we're gonna keep going. Let's hear it.
Okay, yeah. So am I on?
You are.
Okay, so going back to the LeBron and his traveling, no dribbling, opening night, his first points, 3 steps, offensive foul. That was his bucket, right? Set the tone. I also made a video. People were saying there was no travel, but you know how his defenders are. Anyways, and then Dalton Connect.
I'm cutting you off because it was also about the clumsiest crap you've ever seen. He looks like a goddamn cave troll coming out with a club trying to get to the hoop.
They slowed
traveling
it down
or no traveling. It's just hideous to watch.
Right. Anthony Edwards took the assignment all night long and basically shut him down. He didn't get his first 3-pointer or really anything until the game was over. And then anyways, I want to give some praise to, because I'm a Lakers fan. Dalton Connect, the real rookie for the Lakers, comes in and immediately hits a 3-pointer from like 3 feet off the 3-point line. Then he gets another play where he gets a loose ball and takes it basically full court and drives the lane between 2 defenders and hits a nice layup.
I'm so pissed. I don't know what the Lakers have done to deserve that sort of good fortune. I can't stand that they have Dalton Connect and that he's turning out that good, that great. Let's let I couldn't hear I'm no expert anymore. So David is waiting. David, what do you have to tell us?
Oh, I just wanted to talk about franchises that have repeated.
A little bit louder.
Franchises that have repeated. You got the Lakers, who were the first and last franchise that repeated. Michael Jordan has 2 of the 3 three-peats in between that. Like that in itself is amazing. Secondly, I mean, you look at every time he won a scoring title, he also won a ring, which is also an extremely rare feat. Like, I think there's only been 2 other players who have done that in the whole history of the NBA.
You're an Australian.
Oh yeah, yep.
Did you go to the No Bowl tour?
Yeah, they have no balls for sure. No, I didn't go there, man. No. No, I thought it was definitely cash grab.
Yeah, I was actually I ran into an Aussie from Adelaide when I was in a bar, and we were talking about that, and he was disappointed. He was disappointed that Luke Longley was a part of something like that. And I said, yeah, I didn't really picture that, but I don't think Luke actually restrained his trash talking a little bit.
His personality, mate, I'm telling you, he would have been dragged along. No doubt about it. He would have been like, oh, well, we're just going to have a friendly chat, are we? Yeah, but it turned out to be, no, it just turned out to be a real cash grab. And the funny thing too is actually, I remember when it was on one of the morning talk shows, like, in our state, and like the people were calling it out for what it was. Like we Australians don't, fucking bullshit. Like we just talk about how things are. Like we see it for what it is. And when they were getting called out, Scottie Pippen, man, he looked so embarrassed.
I'll tell you, I remember even the short promotional clip that they had up there. Horace Grant was trying to talk tough, and he said that he would. What did he say, that he would have beat Rodman's ass or something? And Luke Longley, who actually played alongside Rodman, said on stage, "I'd like to have seen that."
Yeah, exactly.
So
I know,
he being
man.
honest.
He would got his head. Like, come on, Luke. Come on.
It was so cringe, man.
Thank you.
No worries. Actually, there's just one more point. So also with Michael Jordan's 6 rings, to this day they're the 4th most successful franchise too, which is actually I think that's astonishing, really.
Say it one more time. Sorry.
I think it's astonishing, like that. Jordan's won 6 rings for the Bulls, and they're still 4th successful franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, that says it all, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing that anyone wants to defend Jerry Krause for thinking it's time to rebuild while they're winning, when in today's NBA, they will trade the farm every single season to win once without anyone who's even proven anything. And you got a guy who's the face of the league, who's delivering championships for every year, and he's going to break it up. I mean, it's the most mind-boggling thing I've ever heard. Maybe Jordan wouldn't have won 7 or 8, but just the idea that you don't give him a chance compared to what they're doing in the league today, constant super team building in order to just win one.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think everyone truly from that era got robbed, of possibly them going for a 7th. But, I think for what it's, for what it's worth and how it all finished for him, I still think it was pretty good. So,
Thank
Can't really
you.
complain.
Thank you for calling in from Australia.
No worries, guys. See ya.
Go ahead, Maureen. Welcome back.
Yeah, my connection. I don't know why it dropped like that, but yeah, he made some excellent points. I saw somebody in the comment section talking about how they changed the rules for Jordan, and I'm like, dude, did you not see him? You have to go and watch his career. Did his numbers drop off or did they increase exponentially when they changed the rules? Because they changed the rules for everybody. I can see if Jordan hadn't scored 35, 37, 32, 8 and 8, he wasn't winning MVPs and Defensive Player of the Year, and then they changed the rules. The dude was incredible before the rules changed. That did not help him win the championship. The Bulls, the year before they changed the rules for the commenter, the year before they changed the rules, they took the Pistons 7 games. Scottie Pippen had a headache. The Pistons were on their way to face defeat regardless. So it's not like they just got old. Every year the Bulls won more. They went from winning 6 games to 7 games. They were going. Their time was coming. So no rule changes caused the Bulls to all of a sudden. No, they were already on the up and up. It's not like Jordan got swept the year before. Then they changed the rules, and then now he swept the Pistons. So
We have too many good
nonsense.
We have too many good topics today to get sucked down that hole. We can't read the comment. We can't read the comments of these idiots. They just say the same shit over and over again. They don't want to talk about hand checking being officially removed when LeBron came in. Shit, LeBron's being allowed to do things that are actually still illegal. They don't even change them. They just don't blow the whistle.
Yeah.
Man, for those of you who are just tuning in, do you understand that LeBron James has barely played more games in the last 5 years than Embiid and Kawhi Leonard? And we're saying that this man deserved, based on that, to manipulate history, to manufacture history. At the risk of repeating myself from earlier, I think that was a really important point. History doesn't matter anymore if you're going to manufacture it. None of these events that people say, wow, remember when that happened, are going to matter anymore if they don't happen organically. Oh, I know. I want to talk a little bit about Mad Dog Russo attempting to call this out in that dumb, I'm trying to edit my foul mouth because now that I listen to LeBron James cuss all the time, I understand how ignorant it sounds. Mm-hmm. Molly, why is Molly allowed to talk? Quernan, why is she allowed to talk? Obviously, they got pressured. Obviously, they got pressured to have a female on the show, which she came on there just to sit in the middle and show her boobs at first. And now you're going to pretend that you weren't chauvinists. I'm the chauvinist for saying she shouldn't talk. She was on the show to show her boobs in the first place, and now she's allowed to talk, and she has awful takes. So there's Mad Dog trying to make legitimate points that this isn't sports and this isn't what sports fans have to say. And her counter argument is nothing's more important than family. She literally said that. Nothing's more important than family. When we're watching sports, yes, things are more important. Like the game. How about the game that we're watching? Stop talking about family while we're watching people battle each other in a sport. God damn it.
Nothing's more important than family. This is the way she says it too. Just makes it sound even dumber. And it's just like they had that pause that makes it even worse. You like, really?
Oh man, who's waiting in the wings here? Oh, Old School is back. Old School, what else do you have to say?
Last thing I wanted to put in there, man. You know what this dude LeBron is, and like that, you might have seen me post this on your site prior to. He's the dude. We all playing Madden or 2K or whatever. He's the dude that wants to put. We all playing on the game on Madden. He wants to put his settings down to pro, then beat the computer, then come brag to you about what he did and want you to acknowledge his accomplishments on the same level as yours when you were playing the game the whole time on all Madden. But he want to sit there, yeah, I put up 30, you know what I'm saying, ran for 6 touchdowns, you know what I'm saying, got 24,000 assists. Bro, you're playing on pro. The minute you left Cleveland and decided to team up and do whatever the heck you did, It was over. You being recognized as the greatest player of all time, bro. These dudes fought up a mountain. You took an escalator or an elevator that you found on the side to the top. There's no comparison in your stuff, so you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. It will never be recognized on the level of those who actually fought through the fire. It all goes along with what I was saying earlier. You never learned how to win. You finagled the way how to win.
LeBron
Old school.
And now you're stuck with what you have.
Old school. I was gonna say this too. To your point, you made me think about it again because I had this thought before. You can tell that he has not earned anything by the fact that he talking about he getting extra credit now. That doesn't. You never heard Tom Brady say, "Oh, everything I do from now on is extra credit." He was still trying to win Super Bowls. You never heard Jordan say that. You never heard any other player in any other sport say it's extra credit what they doing now because they were competitive. They didn't care how old they were. If they could still play, they're going for the championships. This entitled brat got up here and said, "Everything I do now is extra credit." That lets you know right there, you not the GOAT.
His whole
you didn't earn
career.
shit.
Do y'all dudes recognize that a lot of these dudes love bringing up, like when he was in Miami, oh, they reeled off 30 some odd straight wins or whatever the case may be. Mike never did that. Do you understand? They still never won 60 games in a season, even with that. That should tell you something. They won 30 some odd straight games and they didn't win 60 games in that season.
He won 66 games. That's the most games he won, and that
with
was in
Cleveland
before.
With Cleveland.
Before he went Miami.
Whenever they try to tell you Cleveland was a bum team, the only time he's won 60 games in his career was when he was playing with them bums in Cleveland. Not Miami, not the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? You catch some of these bron sexuals and they talking. It's like, yo, you talk yourself into a corner. Like, are you serious? Do you understand? Do you understand the words that are coming out of your own mouth? Because you will talk yourself into a corner. Talking about same thing they talk about Bronny. Oh, he maybe needs to go to G League. He'll do this, do that. Brother, he's had the best training that you could possibly have up until this point. Am I wrong? He's got an NBA father. He's had access to NBA facilities, NBA level trainers, all of that. And this is what you got. So why do you think going forward anything is going to change if he goes to the G League? What's going to happen is he's going to go down there and get destroyed because them dudes is ready. They biting at they chomping at the bit to get into the NBA. They will destroy that kid.
I'm going to go watch G League, the Santa Cruz.
Yo, AOH, so am I. I live in New
York. So I can see Quincy. I'm going to go watch Quincy.
To the Knicks G League. If he goes to the G League, them tickets is like $8 and it's a 10-minute ride from my crib. I'm going to go watch them games and watch them destroy this kid.
Hey, I'm going to put some frosting on you guys' points about the winning. LeBron James, when Cleveland had the winning record in the regular season, this just shows that LeBron James is not the man. His output got worse in the playoffs.
Yeah, his points went down.
Seasons. Now, LeBron, I went and I checked. I was like, well, is someone going to say that about Michael? Despite the fact that he was destroying the league
level from the regular season through the playoffs through the finals,
he increased his output.
Every level.
As next to impossible as that was, he managed to still increase it.
Only player in NBA history to do that. Same thing, only player in NBA history to score 3,000 points in multiple seasons. Him and Wilt. Only player to be first team all defense, lead the league in scoring, and win the damn championship. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this stuff they talk about LeBron, when you want to get to stats and all of that, bro, you'll talk yourself into a corner if you're really trying to use stats to down Mike. There's things he's done that LeBron will never in his life think he can accomplish. Forget the fact that he won 600 some odd games without losing 2 games in a row. We all know that. But you start getting into the minutia of his numbers, bro, it's staggering the stuff that he did. It's staggering. But you want me to recognize this guy, and he's not even in the top. I always say my top 3, Mike, Qerim, Bill Russell. Anything after that, you can argue and debate who goes 4, 5, and through 10. LeBron's nowhere in any of that ilf. Any of that ilf.
Let me read a super thanks. I think I've been missing a few of these. And thanks, Old School, for calling back in. Super chat, Jimmy James. It was hilarious to see LeBron and Nepo Braun clank all of their shots. Even in his fabricated moment, he can't deliver. Doesn't fall far from the tree. It's true. You know, even the people that were willing to criticize it a little bit kept saying it was cool. It was cool to see. It was cool to see. No, it wasn't. It was fake. How can you say that something that's fake was cool? Something that wasn't supposed to happen was cool. And I'll say it one more time for the people that are just tuning in. The fact that these analysts have manipulated their argument to such an extent that they're actually saying, hey, this is fine because it's what the Lakers needed to do to keep LeBron happy. You're paying him $50 million and allowing him to continue to hurt your franchise. You don't think you're doing LeBron James a favor enough? Now you got to let him bring in his son because of what he's done for you? It's just absurd. How about showing some appreciation for the game of basketball, LeBron James, and respecting it instead of manipulating it? I was just going to let a caller in and he dropped. I should probably put the call link back in. But I tell you what, we're not even getting to all the topics. I said I had about a half an hour long monologue of shit to talk about, but we haven't gotten to most of it, but that's all right. We were up to 230 viewers. So we'll just keep rolling. I've got a video debuting at 10:15, but that's all right. We'll just keep going. Morian, you're welcome to drop off whenever you need to. But you're also welcome to stay. Before I let the next caller on, you want to talk for a while since I dominate the conversation?
I know, man. Should go to your whatever other topics you had.
All right, I'll let another caller in, and I'll put the call link into the chat. Guys, remember, we're keeping the call short today. Everybody gets a chance to say their piece and move on. And today we have MC Zuggins.
Hey.
Hello. Go ahead.
How's it going? All right. Well, first of all, I want to say I've watched the channel for like, I don't know, a year and a half now or so. Love it. It's
cool.
Every single rant is just fantastic.
Thank you.
But y'all said this was, I'll keep it short, but y'all said this was just user rants. I want to just quickly rant about something, check ideas with chat.
Sure.
For something that comes up a lot in the videos, but I think gets moved on quickly to just the ridiculous basketball that we're watching. But what's driving me crazy about it is I don't know how this ends at all. Like, it's farming engagement, and viewership is just not, it just doesn't matter anymore. Like, viewership keeps going down, but engagement, social engagement, all that stuff keeps going up. Clutch Sports is pushing all of the contracts up based on the engagement that players bring. That the bidding wars in the streaming platforms and the networks drive up the revenue that they get from licensing that. So it's not like they're losing revenue, even though there's not as much deep fan engagement, even though there's not viewership, even though they can just say whatever the hell they want, even if that's not what happened on the damn screen.
Empty words.
Like, he can just make 100 layups in the last 2 seconds of the game, and then they act like he scored 50 points. He's amazing. He's the GOAT. But it's like the game was over. But nobody watched, so nobody can really say anything. Nobody cares. And I just don't know, when does revenue start to take a hit from that? Do we need like a shiny new toy? Does everybody need to go watch baseball or hockey or something? Like, I don't know where the pressure is going to come from to end that kind of culture.
It's weird.
I have no idea.
There was a period of time where we were saying, look, ratings are down. There's an indicator that the product sucks, and yet the NBA keeps making more money. And that it's weird that people that don't watch the game are so passionately dedicated to defending a lie. Like,
exactly.
Why do you give a shit about defending LeBron James when you don't even watch the sport that he's known for? You don't.
That's what I don't get.
Watch it.
That's what it's like, wrapped up in, like, I don't know if it's like the like what, you know, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, like the hustle culture or the entrepreneur, what they're doing off the court or how they talk to each other on Twitter. I don't know what it is, but it's anything other than the game that happened on the screen that night. That's the last thing anybody cares about.
Let me say this very clearly to you LeBron fans, because I want an answer. Please stop copying and pasting what Nick Wright told you to say today. I want an actual thought to come out of your fucking brains. Sorry, there I am. I'm LeBroning again. Let me wear my googly glasses to show you my wide eyes that I'm really sincere. What was my train?
I'm serious.
Can you guys tell me let's pretend that LeBron James is the father that you all claim he is, that he's the basketball player that you all claim he is. What do you care? Even if he was the best ever, you guys don't watch the sport. What do you care? How did this become a cultural thing for you? You just go to your little group therapy sessions and be like, I went online and talked about LeBron today. You're like, oh, did you catch the game? No. What? Oh, they played? Fucking.
It
Hoop
just
God.
doesn't make sense.
Hoop God, you're in. Can't see you.
Yes, sir. No, I'm on my phone because I'm not at home right now. But yeah, when I saw the email, I was like, man, let me hurry up and join before my guy ends the live. I got to get in on this one, man. Hey, how y'all gentlemen doing?
Doing well. I've only gotten to like a fraction of what I wanted to talk about today so far.
Indeed.
Go ahead. What have you been listening for long? You got some thoughts to share?
So I was gonna make this kind of is gonna segue into a post I was gonna make later on when I got back home, and I was doing some research, right? So you guys remember the puppets they made, the Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and I went back and I had listened to an old episode where Shannon Sharp was like, "Well, you mean to tell me in all the years?" My apologies. Shannon Charlatan, that's his new name for me. You mean to tell me in all these years, one MVP can be in the GOAT debate? And I'm like, wait a minute. I went back and found that tweet where Shannon Sharp said the greatest basketball players of all time. He said God, Air Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Now, mind you, I didn't hear anything about one MVP at that particular time. So I'm like, wait. So now, in order to put LeBron in the GOAT debate, they have to minimize Kobe and systematically devalue everything he's done to bring LeBron up. But I don't even want to stop at Kobe, right? I'm like, wait a minute. They keep telling us LeBron is this all-around great player. He can play all 5 positions. Well, the only person that memory serves me correct, Magic Johnson did that. I'm like, I've never seen LeBron play all 5. Like, when has he done this? I haven't seen it. But then they'll say, but LeBron, he can go out there and rebound. I'm like, wait a minute. In 2011, LeBron had the same opportunity as Larry Bird to go dominate the game with rebounding, because we clearly seen he couldn't score. Like J.J. Barea and Jason Terry, they were doing a number on him. Like, not to digress, those guys should be in the Hall of Fame. But I'm like, so wait a minute, LeBron, you've had 10 opportunities in the finals to show us a Magic Johnson type performance, never did it. A Larry Bird type performance, never did it. LeBron has never had a Tim Duncan type performance in 03. So I'm like, wait. So now these guys have to just be moved to the side to systematically put this guy in a debate that's really just a forced conversation. And I'm glad what you said about Nick Wright. Nick Wright had Kobe Bryant in his top 5 before he started being paid off. All of a sudden now, Kobe Bryant's the 8th greatest player. And I'm like, oh, wow.
Hoops God, not only do they try to take down the previous players to raise LeBron James, but now they've made a mockery of accolades. Like LeBron James doesn't deserve any of his finals MVPs. He doesn't deserve Rookie of the Year. He doesn't deserve the regular season MVPs. He clearly didn't deserve the Olympic MVP. They've made a mockery of accolades. I don't even want to go back and use all of Jordan's accolades, because the sports world has actually destroyed what those mean.
Hey, AOH, would you believe me if I told you that we had a very rare moment of honesty from LeBron James in 2009 and 2010? And what I mean by that, there's film of him explicitly stating that Kobe Bryant was a better player than him in his MVP seasons. Would you believe me if I told you?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's interesting because
the film on it.
Oh, but poor LeBron was looking around and realizing that he was the face of the league and all this pressure was on him. So which one is it? You guys keep going. I've got it. These Irish coffees are shooting through me. I'll be right back.
Listen, I'm going to take off, but thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Just a quick hoops guide, a quick point to that. I mean, just can't leave without saying it. It's pretty easy to play all 5 positions. All 5 positions are pretty equally capable of standing at half court for 20 minutes. Like, I mean,
of course,
you can play with 4 of whoever and call it that you were playing center, you were playing point guard. If you stand at half court, who cares? But it doesn't matter because nobody's watching it.
Not to mention there's no dominant centers. The position, they say this is positionless basketball. So how's he playing all 5 positions? If you
Yeah,
say it's
exactly.
positionless basketball, you're playing small ball the majority of the time. So when you play small ball, then you can put him in at center or power forward. But we've never, if he could guard 1 through 5, this is you made me think about this. They say he can guard 1 through 5. Did he guard Dirk in
Nope.
2011?
Nope.
Did
He
he
did
guard
not
Tim
rebound Dirk
Duncan?
neither. Nope. Did not
He
rebound him neither.
So I'm just trying to figure out when, if he could do these things, why we don't see him do it. I seen Jordan guard Vlade Divac in 1991. He guarded Magic Johnson and he guarded Vlade Divac, which is a center, when centers were actually centers. We don't never say he can guard 1 through 5. It's exaggerated. Like he might get on to do a smaller center or a weaker center here and there, but I've never seen him say, I'm going to get the best player on this team and guard 1 through 5. So what's the point of bringing it up if he's not going to guard the elite, or if he's not going to guard a Dirk and shut him down, or he was scared to guard Kevin Durant.
Oh
He was scared to
man,
guard Kevin Durant. I
Kevin,
sat there and watched
Yep.
it. He ran away from the assignment.
man, Kevin Durant struck fear in his heart. I've never seen a superstar type player like that, like just running from him visibly, running from this man. I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me, hold on, y'all, correct me if I'm wrong. You mean to tell me that the Rockets with a I would say a seasoned Chris Paul, not a superstar Chris Paul, they can take the
Yeah.
big bad Warriors 7 games? Wait a minute. I'm like, you're telling me the Clippers, without their best player, can take the big bad Warriors 6 games? But LeBron, you got Kyrie Irving, you got Kevin Love, Richard Jefferson, Tristan Thompson, all these guys, and you getting annihilated in 5? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Exactly, and he gets swept next year. I'm like, y'all act like they do that with all the teams that he lose against.
Wait,
They act like the
phenomenal.
Warriors were just this unbeatable. I could see if the Warriors had run roughshod over the entire playoffs in 2016. They swept in the first, second, and third round and got to the finals and had them down 3-1. That's how they make it seem. This
Hey,
team was down 3-1 themselves against the Thunder
hey,
before they played against y'all, and it was a miracle if Andrew Bogut don't go down.
But
And
it's interesting.
Draymond, dumbass, don't do what he do. They would have
oh no,
won.
no, that's a clutch. He a clutch plant. He done that on purpose. I'm convinced now.
I'm
It's an
convinced too.
But Kevin Durant, the thing is, you don't even have to compliment him to make the point here, because people are trashing him now. Well, if Kevin Durant was never the man, then how did LeBron James get bested by him? And why, if LeBron James was the GOAT, why was it so crazy for the Warriors to go and get Kevin Durant? He's just another good player in the league. You had the GOAT on your team, Cleveland. That's usually enough to have an unfair advantage, much less all the other mercenaries that you brought on board. I mean, does Kevin Durant suck or not? Because I know people are trashing him, and, you know, a lot of it is probably deserved, but obviously he doesn't have the
I
full
don't
dog.
understand what's different, because they bring up top 75 when it comes to Jordan and who he faced. LeBron got to play with Dwayne Wade for 4 years, another top 75 player. So why was it? What's the difference between Steph Curry finally getting another top 75? Because Draymond Green is not no superstar. I don't know why they act like he is. He's not even close to being a superstar. Klay Thompson, borderline, but he's not a top 75 player. He's not a superstar. He got a superstar, and he did the same thing you did, LeBron. He won 4 championships in less tries.
Guys, I have another caller waiting patiently, and today is, as I advertised, a day for you to come and get out your grievances. T. Moore, you're about to come on. Keep it short and sweet. Let us know what you're thinking.
So yeah, man. Nice, seeing you. Like, I'm at work, so that's why I'm not on camera right now. But there is one that since this is a rant thing, I'm from Chicago, and the Bulls, were my team. Not anymore, because I hate how the league is now. I can't watch it anymore. But anyway, back when, I believe it was 2011 when they lost. And from a lot of these LeBron fans, they like to talk about the 2011 Bulls. And it pisses me off because, I love that Bulls team. They were a hustle defensive team. Derrick Rose was the MVP. He deserved it. He was the only guy on the team that could create his own offense. And they like to overrate that team, thinking, "Oh, they were great because they swept the regular season." Yeah, but yeah, they swept them because the Bulls had to play every game, like Game 7 in the finals against them, while they weren't. Like Miami wasn't really I wouldn't say they weren't trying, but they were clearly more talented. It was just defense and Derrick Rose saving us. And it wasn't in the playoffs. That's not going to work because other than him, who we have, Carlos Boozer, he can't create his own offense. He can't play defense. Joakim Noah was my favorite player. Still can't create his own offense. Great defensive player. Great passer for his size.
Well, sometimes hustle and great defense can define a team and be enough to get them over the hoop, except when the referees don't let you to keep playing that defense. I remember that frustrating series, and I know I'm making excuses, but I remember a lot of really, really terrible calls. And people say that, you have to be better than just some calls, but it's also setting the tone for the game, and the refs are telling the other team, we're not going to let you play these people tight or play hard defense. We're going to let them do it to you, but you aren't allowed to do it. That psychologically hurts teams.
Yeah, especially when you don't have our starting shooting guard was Keith Bogans.
Yeah.
Who?
Keith, exactly. Keith Bogans. I think he averaged less than 6 points a game, and every time he scored 6 points, the Bulls they were 42 and lost 6 games. And the bench was deep, but then again, Derrick Rose was the only one on that team that could create his own offense. Once you stop him, the offense is not really much. So every time I keep hearing about, he shut down Derrick Rose, I'm like, no. The entire team
effort. It was a team
effort. It was a team effort. Because if he gets by LeBron, the entire team can converge on it because Luol Deng, he cannot dribble. I love Luol Deng. He is not a great dribbler. He can shoot a spot-up jumper. He's a hustle guy. He can get loose rebounds, but he is not someone you can give the ball to and create his own offense. And I love him. I love Luol Deng when he was there. He's a good defender, he can do all the hustle stuff, but he is not that kind of player. And then after that series, we got freaking old and injured as Rip Hamilton, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Timor, thank you for calling in. And hey, guys, before I forget, go on to Sports and Fitness Rants' channel and put some comments telling him to stop effing around and get back on here. He's blowing me off. Doesn't have time for me, but we need some dual rants back on here. Go harass that man. I'm going to let Joshua in a second, but Hoops God, you're always shockingly polite. So I'm going to ask you if you want to say something. All right. My bad. Joshua.
Hey, what's up,
Hello.
fellas, man? Thanks for having me on. Hey, I follow both you guys as YouTube, man. I'm a fan of both you guys' work. Just being real to the game and having an authentic basketball perspective. So thanks for that. I just saw something.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
All right, good.
All right, you're back. Joshua, you're on again. All right. Try later, I guess. Hoops God, I can't hear you. I don't know if you're there or not, but man, I haven't what fired me up. What?
Oh, I was gonna say I had a question for you.
Yes.
Did you see that Michelle beat him? How they been trying to go in on her? Did you see that? What she said about it being manufactured?
Yeah, and I saw Lou Williams being his usual bitch self.
And they sit there and try to say, well, your dad got you an internship. And I'm like, that's two different, that is not nepotism. That's two different things. He got her an opportunity. So, and based on her own talent, she was able to further that opportunity. That's not the same as, hey, I'm going to give you 4 years, guaranteed millions of dollars in the NBA. That I'm going to get you a job in the league that's not deserving. You got an internship and you're comparing that to an actual job where you're making millions of dollars. I'm like, parent, you can give your kid whatever opportunity to do something, but if they're not skilled enough, if they don't have the qualifications, they're not gonna succeed. She still had to succeed on her own merit with an internship. He did not employ her with the Spurs, and I'm like, y'all comparing these two different situations to justify, once again, try to justify what LeBron did, which is clearly nepotism.
I mean, I suppose technically someone could say that that still falls under the umbrella of nepotism, but it doesn't compare to, you're talking about job positions that no one's heard of and no one gives a crap about versus a highly coveted instant millionaire, you're on television every night situation. I mean, that's a whole different ball game. No one cares about the scouting position or the internship. And if you fail at the internship, well, what does that do to the organization? Not much. Bronny James being on the floor probably hurts the Lakers. Bronny James being on the roster instead of Quincy hurts the Lakers. As the was that Dallas or who? No, who was it with the boxing comparison? You wouldn't get away with this crap in boxing because your son would get killed. He doesn't deserve to be there. It's not a fair comparison. Russo said, hey, my kid is great at broadcasting or great at radio, but I would never tell anybody, give him this job. But Russo went further. He said, my son's better at what he does than Bronny is at what he does, and I still wouldn't do it. That's pretty harsh, but Joshua's back. We'll try you again, Joshua. You're on.
Hey, sorry, man. My connection went on. My bad, fellas. But pretty much what you were saying, AOH, it's sports, it's a microcosm of life. You know what I'm saying? And I think right now we're in that generation of everyone wants everything microwavable. Everyone wants overnight success. So they see Bronny and go, oh, well, if your father was doing this, you'll want him to help you out too. And it's like help and giving you something is totally different, especially when LeBron goes out of his way to constantly say, I never cheated the game. Everything is earned, not given. And I told him, I said, if LeBron didn't talk so damn much, half of the criticisms wouldn't be warranted. We wouldn't say anything. But he talks so damn much, man, and he forgets what he says. And we go, hold on, wait a minute. You just said this. You know, I saw a comedian, I think his name was like Roy Woods, and I think he was on ESPN. And he said, oh, man, the Bronny situation is great. He said, everybody's hating because if you had a problem at your house with your plumbing and the plumber brought his son, you wouldn't be worried about the son is qualified or not. I said, man, that's the stupid. They're just all types of media tricks. Justify this Bronny thing, and it's non-justifiable. It's all for Bron. You know, that's what it's for. All for Bron to say, "Hey, Jordan never did this. I did this." I'm saying, I just wish he would say that, and we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, some technical difficulties there, but I get the gist of it. And yeah, if we're talking about things being given and not earned, it made me think about something else I wanted to talk about today, Maureen. And a lot of people have commented that today's players don't really look like they love the game. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. They've definitely said that Bronny doesn't look like he terribly wants to be there. And that's made possible because people who don't truly love the game but have an opportunity to become instant millionaires by sticking it out a little bit longer, even before they've proven anything, well, why wouldn't you? The separating the wheat from the chaff thing doesn't take place anymore, because the guys who really want to be there are the ones who are going to keep fighting, even though they're not getting paid, and they're going to try and fight to get that opportunity, and somewhere down the road be rewarded for it. Everybody's being rewarded before even doing anything. So how can you possibly know which ones truly want to be there deep down? I mean, becoming an instant millionaire will make a lot of people say that, oh, this is what I wanted to do for my life, but I don't know if their actions really reflect that.
Exactly. Like even watching the All-Star game, like the All-Star game used to be fun to watch. It used to be competitive, and these guys treat every game like it's the All-Star game. Like they talk about LeBron's three-pointers going up. Like, first of all, I'm looking at it like, if this is the best league ever, how's a 40-year-old dominating y'all? Or a 39-year-old, because they always try to say he's 40. How you got this guy that's supposed to be on his way out the league still be able to dominate? Because I watched the games, and you guys are leaving guys open. Cat was over there just shooting threes, just wide open threes in an actual basketball game. That would never have happened in the 90s, 80s, 2000s. They played lockdown defense in the 2000s. We saw how low scoring them games were. Now dudes get easy shots, easy drives to the basket, and they still want to get foul calls. So it's just ridiculous when you sit there and watch. It looks like these dudes really don't care about the game. And
And
like I
then
said, Ron sitting there saying, "Oh, everything else is extra credit," shows the mentality of, this is the face of the league. He's showing the mentality of the majority of these guys in the league. They think
and then
they
it's
don't have anything to prove. They just there for the fun of it, I guess, and to collect
How
their
many
like
checks.
people are making excuses not to play more games? People who love the game and love competing aren't constantly saying, hey, pay me and so that I won't play. I'm sorry, Hoops
right.
God, you're back? Are you talking?
Yeah. My apologies. No, I wanted to just piggyback off what Phenomenal Fitness has stated. So, like when they make these cross generation comparisons, right? I'm like, are we gonna just make a baseline comparison? Are we gonna actually go into detail and actually bring to the table that in Michael Jordan's era, when he would drive the lane, there would be a center and a power forward waiting for him to collapse on him to stop him from getting to the rim. I said, why do you think he was so effective and efficient at that mid-range jumper? Much like a Larry Bird, much like a Kobe Bryant. Like all the perimeter guys, for the most part, had a legit mid-range jump shot and could post up. I said, see, the difference in this era, like you said, there's no center. All the forwards, like everybody want to shoot threes like Steph Curry. So if you get past your man, well, who's there to stop you from getting to the rim? Nobody. So I'm like, when I see these numbers, I'm not impressed by that, because when they go against, just like in the Olympics, it had to take a historic Steph Curry performance in 2 elimination games for them to win. So I'm looking at it from the lens that Steph Curry doesn't play or suffer some type of freak injury, or hell, Team USA gets the bronze again. I'm like, this is
And this
ridiculous.
is
Like,
supposed to be the greatest. This is supposed to be the greatest era, the greatest thing. If you guys had the greatest assembly of players, how are guys who don't have the greatest assembly of players? You have an all-star cast. How is it? Y'all should be running roughshod over them. Oh, the world done caught up. How? These are not NBA. These are not guys that are top tier, the best of the best NBA players. This is what you're telling us. And these guys are in danger of getting bronze. That doesn't make any sense. But they're better than the 92 Dream Team. That doesn't make
Guys, I
any
broke
sense.
down.
These guys got more heart than we do.
We did have a lot of talent on that team. Jimmy James, I see you. I'm going to let you in a second. Longtime supporter. Got to give him some time. But, you see why. You see why these things are manufactured, because pieces of paper and false accolades get used further down the line. And Kenny Smith is a fantastic example. The latest person to be very upsetting is saying, when he was trying to justify what was happening on the court that night, he said, but LeBron James was the best player on the Olympic team. And at least a couple of the guys said, no, he wasn't. And he said, well, but he was the MVP. But he wasn't. But it's something that you can reference. It's a fake thing to reference. But worse than that, the guys aren't even talking about the game that they watched. Kenny Smith, tell us specifically what you saw LeBron James do that night that was great. Because I break down the footage and it's like, what the fuck is this garbage? I broke down the entire Olympics. The only reason the games were as close as they were was because of the LeBron James narrative. So you could give him a fake MVP. I mean, that was a talented team. I'm not saying that the rest of the world isn't close or catching up, but we definitely should have been beating those teams by more than we were. Jimmy James, I will welcome you in. Hello.
How you doing, guys? You
What's
hear me?
going on, Jim?
Yes. Yes.
So real quick, John Sally, who flip-flops on his opinions constantly, but he brought up something recently. He was talking about how these guys are just like not in shape to play the game. And he said like that's the first advice that he would give to all these current players is get yourself in shape. And that's the crazy thing about LeBron, with the $1 million thing. Like how can he not just get up and down the court? Is it worth being a little bit bigger, or can you maybe be a little bit more, sleek in your frame and get down the court, in both offense and defense?
Hey, some of those slender guys from the 80s and 90s were strong as hell. I mean, looks can be deceiving. I'm sure you guys playing sports have encountered guys that you're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
Alvin Robertson.
Right.
And LeBron, I mean, look at like as big as LeBron is, quote unquote, like there was dudes back in the day that were way bigger than him. Like Kevin Willis was like a monster. He wasn't flying up and down the court, maybe, but I don't know. David Robinson kind of was, and he was shredded up, and he was running the court like the gazelle that LeBron apparently is.
Well, let me ask you this: what makes you guys better jumpers? Doing your going into the weight room and like jumping on the box, which of course is helping, doing squats and things like that, or going out and jumping your ass off on the basketball court for 5 hours a day. If I made you choose one of the two, which one is going to make your jumping better?
Actually doing the jumping, training your body.
The box jumps.
Right. So these guys that are doing all these TikTok workouts, but can't stay on the court, maybe you guys just need to be playing basketball and not be taking nights off.
AOH.
Yeah.
They're damaging their clear coat, so they got to be real delicate how they maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Rodman had a point like when he was constantly going. It's like you got to just keep that motor going, and that's why these guys don't play that many games. They're always getting hurt. As they're constantly taking off. They're,
No, Jim, you're right, because I've had this conversation with
Dallas. I see you, by the way.
With some inept fans, and they try to make the case. Well, yeah. See, you can. I said no. You have to understand the biology of the body. You bulletproof the body by practicing its repetitions, because your body will get accustomed to it eventually, especially when you're playing games. Because if you go out there and you have 3 or 4 intense practices, right? Well, when it comes game time, well, yeah, your intensity is going to be up, but seeing that you have referees out there moderating, then I would say your potential for injury is going to be significantly less. But if you go out there and play hard one day, sit out, then go back out there, play hard 2 games, sit out, then you're confusing your own body. But for some reason, that just seems to it doesn't resonate inside their infinitesimal minds for whatever reason.
They seem to think that by taking off all this time, they're like, reserving all this energy so in the playoffs they can just crush it. But then they get to the playoffs and they're like gassed, like Anthony Edwards. You can see him huffing.
Yeah, playing less is not gonna get you prepared for the playoffs. It's dumb logic. And they took that one season that Kawhi Leonard had and just like, oh, that's a case study. I'm like, you have all these years. You have 70 plus years. Or at that time, yeah, you have almost 70 years of data that shows you that dudes playing throughout the season, playing hard in practice works better. But this is what y'all do. But these guys are not really concerned about the short term. I think they just want to sit around and be in the league and being there about 20 something years, and they looking at the other guys like, well, Isaiah Thomas and Jordan and some of these other guys, they didn't play that long. But I'm like, Kareem played 22 years. Your time is your time. You need to give everything you got while you got it, so that you can look back at your career and know you maximized it. But the fact that these dudes are sitting out, Kawhi Leonard is gonna be injured this year. I already know. Joel Embiid is gonna be injured this year. The same cast of characters is gonna be injured again this year. And we supposed to have the most advanced athletes. I'm like,
I saw,
what data shows us that this is true?
I saw an advertisement for the NBA trying to get people hyped up for the NBA season. And like the two main guys that they had in the commercial are already out. It's false advertising. You don't get to see any of these people. Jimmy James, thank you for your ongoing
That's all I had
support.
anyway. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in. Dallas, you're back on. Guys, not too much noise, Dallas.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear your background noise.
Hold on, let me go to I'm at a coffee shop. My bag.
That's all right. Hey, before we guys, I know I'm not a big guy, but I played football, and even in the seasons where I would run before football practice started at the beginning of the year, the first day, the pain because of what your muscles went through was mind-boggling. And I was like, there's no way I can go back to football practice tomorrow with my muscles feeling this way, but you do. And then you do it again. And the next thing that happens is that your body becomes accustomed to it, and you play the whole season that way, and then you become stronger and better for the playoffs. These guys that get into that shape and then take time off and then try to come back, it doesn't make it's the exact opposite of getting your body ready for the long-term endurance. It's like putting yourself through the hell that I felt on the first day of practice all over again.
Yeah, it's like even when you doing weightlifting and going 6 days a week, you get used to it. After a while, your body gets used to it, and you're not increasing your chances of getting injured. As long as you do your proper stretches and your warm-ups, you good. That's what a lot of these guys don't understand. And
I'm gonna quote. Oh, go ahead,
ahead.
Fernando. My bad.
Oh yeah, and I was just gonna say, like, it's back to the point, like when they say the world has caught up, I'm like, so then there should be even more foreign players. There's more foreign players in the league now, but there should be more foreign players at the top. Like the top players is foreign players, but they should be at least top 20, top 30. That's how they act. That's not what's happening. So why not the superstars should be all foreign players? That's not what's happening. So the league, it's the heart. The dudes over here, they play that same laissez-faire mentality. They bring it to the overseas, to the Olympics. You see it throughout the season. I promise you, if we took the dudes from that 92 Dream Team and we put them in this, people would be blown away. People would be blown away on what they would do to these boys.
Yeah, it was like my coach told me. It's the 21-90 rule, right? You do something 21 days, it becomes a habit. You do it 90 days, it becomes a lifestyle. My drill sergeants told me that. My coaches told me that. Anybody who was successful in a sport, like not just in the, I would say, fitness or sports or whatever, but just in anything like the business world, you have to get the repetition in there in order to get the results that you want.
Dallas, what did you have to say?
Oh, that's facts. I agree. What's up, Hoop God? That's facts, though, from both of you
what's
guys.
going on, good brother?
Nothing much. Real quick, this is the thing that I've been seeing that's really bothers me too. I'm so fed up with the training videos. Like when I'm on Instagram and I see all these training videos, what makes me mad about it is that they all are training to make hard shots. Like when you look at the train, it's always a push off and then a side step and then a spin move into a shot where, what about just a one dribble pull up? Why you just don't do a hard one dribble pull up? And nobody still can stop that move, but yet I watch these videos and it's just more difficult shot taking. And then I was watching a little bit of the San Antonio Dallas game last night, and I swear I can't make it through these games, guys. I make it through like the first quarter and I got to turn it off because it's just so bad to me. But I think Kyrie Irving is one of the people that, and as good as he is, don't get me wrong, he's a good basketball player. But it's a gift and a curse because I don't see him take easy shots. You know what I mean? Like, I'll see him go to the basket and make a hard dribble, then he'll spin out, and then he'll sidestep and then pull up. But I'm just like, dang, That's why when you got to the finals, you all couldn't score because you and Luka take such difficult shots all the time that now that somebody's actually really D'ing you up and forcing you have to play D, you don't have the legs to do all these moves. So it just makes me upset because I see how it's ruining the game, because when I go play ball and I see the young guys playing, they're all working on this stuff. They're all working on making difficult shots. Even when you play,
Gotta
they're
be
doing
Kobe.
Euro. Yeah, they're doing Euro steps when there's no need to do a Euro step. They're doing shooting 2-3 steps behind the 3-point line when there's no need to shoot 2-3 steps behind the 3-point line. Or you catch the ball for pass instead of you just taking the shot. You got to step. No, don't take that shot. You got to take a three. They'll be like, take a three, OG. I'm like, no, I'm open and I'm right here. Why am I gonna take another dribble to take a longer shot? That's a lower percentage shot, which people forget about. That's a lower percentage shot, and they didn't used to allow guys to just take random threes in the lead. Think about somebody like a Larry Bird. As great as a shooter as he was, he didn't take a whole lot of threes. You know what I mean? Because it just wasn't a high percentage shot. It was at the rim, and then you took the other shots because they're open because you went to the rim and you can't be stopped. Now these guys are open. It's just a more beautiful game to watch than it is today, and it makes me upset, y'all. I'm sorry. It makes me mad, man, because I just feel like, damn, why we can't get back to that?
It's about the flash and the pizzazz instead of the skill and the will. Like you said, if you look at all those great teams outside of the Bulls, you said you hit the nail on the head. The objective was to get the ball in because that was the best, the most high percentage shot. Now, when teams will try to scheme around that, then you will start to take the mid range and the long range, and eventually when they start, getting to the three ball. Because watch this. I always I have to educate these LeBron fans because they'll routinely say, well, LeBron has a higher percentage. I'm like, okay, well, why is it that Bird and Jordan have a higher percentage in the finals and they didn't even grow up with a 3-point line? I said, let that sink in for a minute. They don't have no rebuttal for that.
Yeah,
you guys ready?
And a lot of these dudes are exerting unnecessary energy, and then they don't want to play defense. I'm like, if you would take one dribbles, if you took less dribbles, if you spent less time doing extra unnecessary moves, you would have more energy on defense. These dudes don't realize that. I'm like, dude, if you're the ball trying to do and one moves like it's and one back in the day, and you're up here trying to do all these fancy layups and all these different moves, you're putting so much energy on offense. Now you're gassed on defense. And defense is a very important part of the game. That's what makes. That's why, to me, Jordan is a better. They say LeBron's a better all-around player. I'm like, how? Defense is a part of your all-around game. So if he playing on both ends, that makes you an all-around. They changed the term to two-way. No, that's all around. You know how to play on offense and you play on defense. This is not football. To be all around, you have to play on both ends of the floor. So no, he is not a better all-around player. And a lot of guys need to understand that. To be an all-around player, defense is key.
You know what's so great about what you said? It also influenced guys watching the game. We all wanted to be two-way players because Mike made it. I'm not saying he's the only one that did this, but it was cool to be a two-way player. Like, it was cool to score and shut your man down. Like, it was cool to be able to do that. Like, I know me, I wanted to do that. Like, I took pride in my man not scoring and I'm scoring. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you were so perfect on saying that, man.
Are you guys ready for the victimhood rant? That was my primary motivation.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
I haven't even gotten to it yet. I don't know. We could talk about any of it, but Sports and Fitness Rants was saying it yesterday, how LeBron is using these opportunities. And it's the second time in recent history that he's used a moment to whine. I mean, this nearly 40-year-old man just keeps using moments to whine. And how about the distaste of the fact that it was like about his son? And this is supposed to be a positive moment for you to say something positive. And he turns it to about himself, and not just about himself, but an opportunity to cry. And he says, nobody wanted me to succeed. And in what way did people not want LeBron to succeed? And Sports and Fitness Rants had a good point. He's like, okay, so wait a minute. You're looking around and saying that you're the face of the league, but you feel like everyone is against you. But I thought about the things that the league did for him. And I already did a video about this the first time he was whining. And I went back and I looked at all the commercials that came out when he was a rookie and all the commercials that came out before he had even stepped foot on an NBA court. And all of them were telling us how great he was. How is that saying that people want you not to succeed? And
I know the league wanted him to succeed. I know the magazine said believe the hype and all that. I got the magazines on my,
I wanted him.
in my feed.
I wanted him to succeed. And this is the difference between these LeBron fans and us. I was ready for the next wave. It's exciting. I like seeing the new players. I was ready to see LeBron dethrone Kobe. And I was ready to see somebody dethrone Michael. It's nice to see the battle. I don't need to hold on to something in order to like the sport. We're supposed to enjoy seeing the new guys come in and take over. But LeBron didn't ever take over. The league took over the narrative on his behalf. I mean, the dude walked up to a podium when he was, 17 years old with an entire posse behind him with that smug look on his face. And we're supposed to believe that you didn't want the stardom?
Yeah.
AOH.
Yeah.
Did Curry dethrone LeBron, though?
Well, not according to the media.
Well, yeah, not the media, but on the court. We actually saw that. 3 times he beats LeBron in the finals.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because it doesn't bother LeBron. It doesn't stop him from calling himself the GOAT, and it doesn't stop.
Oh, obviously, yeah. No, it doesn't.
They actually, I remember this during that time period. And I tell me if you remember this, Hoops Guy and Angry or Hoops. During that time period, Steph Curry was becoming the most. He still outsells him jersey wise. He was actually considered a better player than LeBron, even by the young kids. I remember everybody. Steph Curry was that dude. The NBA made a concerted effort to make sure that they pushed him down and propped LeBron up. Did y'all catch that? That's why in the 2016, he was even released. They said that Steph Curry was actually supposed to win that Finals MVP in 2015. Did I say 2016? 2015, he was supposed to win the Finals MVP, but they changed it and gave it to Andre Iguodala, saying, "Oh, it's because he guarded LeBron." And they actually wanted to give LeBron the MVP, but they was like, Steph Curry actually won it, but they changed the vote at the last minute to give it to Andre Iguodala. Now Steph Curry got one Finals MVP. And they did it one more time in 2017. They gave him all them phantom foul calls to keep him from getting the Finals MVP. That's that Finals.
How about people? I know this is old news. They were talking about it recently about where LeBron should get his statue. And, some people were like, well, hell no in Miami and hell no in LA. But why would you give it to him in Cleveland with the way he treated Cleveland? I mean, Cleveland gave him everything and embraced him. He quit on the floor. He quit on the floor for you guys. And then not only did he leave, he didn't have the decency to just go talk to management and say, hey, you guys have, done a lot for me and I love Cleveland. So I want to tell you, I'm going to go to Miami and I want you guys to make whatever preparations are necessary to be ready. He didn't do that. He effed him. He waited until the last minute, the decision. And the fact that someone can do something as despicable as the decision, but ESPN airs it, shows you that nobody wanted LeBron James to fail, because that's a prime opportunity to abandon somebody and be like, okay, we just can't stick with this anymore. And even the guys that were saying, it was generally frowned on. And yet ESPN chose to televise it. They said, well, we're just going to keep forgiving this guy. He's despicable, but we're going to stick with him. LeBron James, that is the exact opposite of people wanting you to fail. They stuck with you no matter what crap you pulled.
Well, this is the problem with LeBron. He plays the victim and all this stuff. He set this all up. And that's why I put in that video. When he went to Miami and did all that bragging and telling everybody, he even made a list. You do all of this different stuff. You basically spit in the face of Cleveland, and then you expect for them to root for you to win? That didn't make any sense. You sit there and was arrogant. Not one, not two. You did all this stuff. You played the villain. You played up to the villain. You started wearing black. You was up there doing all of this. You made a list talking about you was gonna talk about Skip Bayless and all of this different stuff. And then you don't want nobody to laugh when you lose. You was coughing. That's why I showed that too. Y'all, you and Dwayne Wade was up there making fun of Dirk Nowitzki, and you get smoked. Of course we gonna clown you. If I saw an arrogant prick talking all this shit, I'm gonna do this to you when I see you, and then he get his ass whooped, who is not gonna laugh about that? Who's
Hey,
not gonna?
but just on principle, even if LeBron had won, that was still a unclassy thing to do. We don't need to see the quote unquote face of the league doing crap like that. LeBron James has been an embarrassment for the league, and here we have people stooping so low as to say LeBron James deserves to manipulate the draft and manipulate who is on the court thanks to what he's done for the league. But if he was the face of the league, why do we have this era of all these other people behaving in a way that Stephen A. Smith himself just finished trashing? That happened on LeBron's watch. That happened on the guy that you're praising's watch. If he's the face of the league, then show people how you're supposed to behave. He is the poster child for teaching people that it's okay, because even when you behave like that, they're still going to praise you. That happened on LeBron's watch, the face of the league. King's Speech, King's Speech, you're back in.
That's why you seen a different mentality when Jordan was in the league and when he left. You saw a different, like Kobe imitated him. A lot of guys tried to be as professional as they possibly could. And then you had Allen Iverson, there was that outlier that kind of brought in that more cocky hip hop attitude. The braids, the cornrows, the tattoos. That's when you started to see a change. And now LeBron even made it even worse with how he carries himself. He always cocky. He cocky about everything. He cocky when it's unnecessary. Because when he loses, he doesn't even feel it. Then when they asked him, "Do you care about that?" He's like, "No, not really, because they got to go back to their lives, and and I get to enjoy my family and all this other stuff." Because he knows at the end of the day, they're gonna make it. They're gonna excuse away all his losses, and then when he wins, it's the greatest thing ever. Oh, yeah, I know I won 2 of the hardest championships in NBA history, 2016, and then that bubble. That bubble was just the most horrible situation you could ever imagine.
The victimhood is just off the charts these days. I wanted to talk about that. I mean, I started talking about the victimhood thing, but that's not the end of it. I was working on the video about how much LeBron has cost the Lakers, and in the research I was doing, I found out that Jeannie Buss had set up therapy for the players so they can go and talk to a therapist anytime that they need to. And that might sound kind and compassionate on the surface, but it also just makes me think, seriously? I mean, and I was walking down the streets the other day in the city, and San Francisco has been taken over by all these child millionaires, and I couldn't hear an adult conversation. Every single person sounded like they were giving each other therapy. Like they sounded like kids that are trying to mimic adults. Like, oh, but that's okay. Here's why your feelings are valid. And don't feel bad about that. I'm like, people have to literally walk down the street comforting each other as a normal conversation instead of just talking about everyday things now. I'm like, this is the NBA, except now on the sidewalks. These guys are complaining about everything.
See, I noticed the all-time greats who I have in my top 10, because I'm sorry, I don't have LeBron in my top 10. And one of the reasons, it's not the only, but one of the reasons is why I don't have him, because I never heard any of the other guys that I have above him say, I'm the greatest, right? Because I'm going to take a quote that Walter Payton said back in his heyday. When you're good, you'll tell everybody how good you are, right? But when you're great, your peers, your contemporaries, everybody else will tell you how great you are. Prime example. Kobe Bryant was talking to one of those reporters. I can't recall her name right now, but he explicitly named. He said Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Jerry West. She said, "You don't have your name?" He said, "No." He said, I would never put myself above those guys. Everything I learned from the game of basketball, I got from them. Right? Notice how it's reciprocated when they speak on Kobe. But see, LeBron, what he's tried to do is he's trying to change the paradigm of this self-worship and self-aggrandizement because he's seen Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather doing it. Yeah, but the only difference is that's a single man sport. You have to talk yourself up in a single man sport. In a team setting, you don't talk about yourself. Listen to how Tim Duncan's teammates speak of him. He doesn't have to go out and say, "I'm Tim Duncan. I'm the greatest." Tim Duncan has never said he's the greatest power forward ever. Never.
Not one
I just want
time.
to say that part.
Hey, we have CJ waiting. I haven't. Oh, I'm sorry. Who? Oh, King. Go ahead. And then CJ, you're next.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say that LeBron has pretty much destroyed his own legacy, and listening to the things you guys talking about, I think one of the things that I know LeBron is I think he wants to be the greatest, but I think he wants to be a celebrity more, and I think him being an athlete is a means to it. Like LeBron's problem is he wants everybody to praise him. Yet he does things that's going to get some people are not going to praise him. Like that, we're not going to praise that half-ass defense. I mean, and again, it's like the people who don't know basketball, who don't see the stuff that he does or not bothered by, it's just going to go by the wayside. But people who know basketball and peers are going to see that. They're going to see those that complaining as he misses a layup and then his team has to play 4 and 5. We're going to see him throw his teammates under the bus. Like, again, like I was watching your, the when Anthony Davis blocked Rudy Gobert after the 4 and 5, right? And he's the 13th best player. Notice something. Clutch Sports represents Anthony Davis. Why did he not say a peep about Anthony Davis not getting on the Defensive Player of the Year finalist last year? Represent him? Like, Anthony Davis completely deserved to be on that list. Yeah, they didn't say a peep. Meanwhile, they wanted LeBron James on a 7th seed to be in the MVP final.
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy.
I mean, everybody knows that the Lakers defense lives and ends with Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis wasn't on it, they would. And so, I mean, I think like Clutch Sports against Montrezl Harrell. Remember when Montrezl Harrell, the year before the pandemic, was the 6th man of the year? And 2 years later, he's out of the league, right? They made him go to the Lakers. The Lakers didn't use him. And, from what I heard, he was, Charlotte wanted to give him $80 million. He took $13 million to go to the Lakers, and that was the end of his whole career. The manipulation, the stuff that he does, I mean, it really is. And it's go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, like you said,
that
he wants to be the greatest. No, he wants to be known. He wants to be known as the greatest. He's not trying to be the greatest.
Yeah, but
he wants that title.
Yeah, he wants people to give him.
If he wanted to be the greatest in his game, he would have did what Kobe did and got into that lab and added some wrinkles to his game. He wants to be known.
Exactly.
CJ, tell us what you're thinking.
See, LeBron wants it to be easy. Yeah.
CJ, are you there? Nope. King's Speech, you're back in.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I know you get a phone call. Sometimes it drops.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. And let's see who is it.
Yeah, like he was saying, he's talking about LeBron don't want to be the greatest. He wants that recognition of it, that title.
CJ, I'm trying you one more time. You're on.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
All right, I just want to be real quick. I wanted to talk about what you guys were mentioning earlier regarding the revenue of the league, despite no one watching. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this, but about 10 years ago, there was this whole controversy about the NBA getting in bed with the gambling companies. what is the likelihood that the gambling companies are the safety net for the NBA's revenue? And also, LeBron will never be the GOAT. If you can't be the GOAT if you're not competitive. If you're not willing to compete to prove yourself, you're out of the conversation, period. That's what I have to say. I'll see y'all.
Thank you.
All right, bro.
The gambling, that's beyond me. I'll let you guys handle that. What do you think?
I mean, it makes sense. That's what I have to say. It makes sense
I mean,
that would
yeah,
be their safety net.
it's all about the money. But what's the problem is the players who are not doing holding up their end of the bargain, right? Because now Adam Silver and his I guess his think tank or whatever, they got to create all these new creative ideas to draw viewers in. I mean, can you imagine a league with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, the league having to create an in-season tournament? That would never happen on their watch. And again,
dude, we're only days away from it already.
and again, you have to look at it like the league is going to be a reflection of the best player, right? Because if you look at, let's just go all the way back to the 80s when it was on tape delay. Well, you bring in Magic Johnson, you bring in Larry Bird, and now they're getting the games on live television. Why? Because of the precedent, what they established, the blueprint that they put out there, right? You didn't want to miss it. Then you transition into the 90s where Michael Jordan takes the game global. Right now it's on a global stage. And then you have Kobe Bryant following that same method, right? I want to be competitive, all-star game. No, we ain't trying to be buddy. I want to beat you. I want to win. Now it's a hug fest out there. I'm like, you can hear the guys who played in that era, like Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Shaq, Charles, like they're disgusted with it. It's just like these guys are just too friendly. I mean, it's all right to, get together in the off season, but I mean, damn, if we playing against each other, I don't want to be over here laughing and jocular and all like, no, man. But look who brings in a whole different approach, this big hug fest and everybody, let's all be friends and all this. Like, what? No, you can be competitive and still respect your opponent, but what is with all this? I want to be buddy, friendly. Like, nah, that's an eyesore.
You mentioned Larry Bird, and it made me think of Stephen A. Smith's hypocrisy earlier. He was just shredding Kawhi Leonard. And it's not that I want to defend Kawhi Leonard. I just want there to be some intelligence in what our sports analysts are saying, because if you missed the beginning of the show, I was pointing out that LeBron and Embiid are as guilty as Kawhi is, and yet he's not getting that criticism. But the other thing that Stephen A. Smith said was that Kawhi's a bad superstar because he's not doing the interviews and things like that. Well, it's obviously not his personality type. Yeah. And Stephen A. Smith crapped on him for like not wanting to do an interview at the game and praised LeBron James. He's like, LeBron James, even when he's in street clothes, will give you the interview. Like, LeBron James loves to talk about himself. He won't miss an opportunity to talk about himself. And he's not doing it for the game. He's doing it for himself. Why aren't you focused on the fact that he's in street clothes? But furthermore, some people like a quiet superstar. Some people loved the San Antonio Spurs at the exact same time that the Heatles were going on because they just got the job done without all the blah, blah, blah. Larry Bird didn't like to do interviews, didn't want to do a whole bunch of media stuff. A lot of people were drawn to that. There are different types of stars and you have different types of fans. Stephen A. Smith saying, unless you're promoting your brand like a narcissist, you're not worthy of being a star. I mean, that again, what's the message that you're sending? It's more important for athletes to promote themselves than just be on the court competing.
Yeah,
it's
a bad president.
I'm gonna let Andrew talk because he's been waiting. Andrew, your camera's pointed at the ceiling. Are you ready to say your bit? Here he comes. All right.
Yes, sir. What's going on, guys?
Go for it, Andrew.
So one thing, I just can't get with I am convinced the Lakers have the fans in the building that I am convinced half of those guys are paid to be in there. I mean, I just saw a clip of LeBron. It was actually your clip of him laying on the floor complaining, and then Anthony Davis just completely destroys Gobert at the rim 4-on-5, and he has the audacity to say we need to get back on D. It's just like, and how are the Lakers fans in there not booing this guy? It's like, I'm a Lakers fan, and I can't get with it at all.
That's got to be painful. It's got to be
I hear a
frustrating.
lot of Lakers fans tell me the same thing, that they don't really care for him. So it do make me wonder, like, are these real fans or not?
Yeah, but I don't know. One, thinking of LeBron and seeing how it actually got me thinking yesterday, because I saw, all this Pippen, Scottie Pippen praise and whatnot, and I didn't realize he was drafted like 4 or 5 years after Jordan was already on the Bulls. So that's one. And Michael Jordan took him under his wing, and 2 years with Pippen, they won a championship. And I was like, in the first stint of the Cavs when LeBron was there, like, who did they draft? Because, right, I mean, he came in 03 or whatever, and then I wanted to see their draft picks, and actually I was kind of surprised. In 2009, so the last year that LeBron was on the Cavs, that first stint, they drafted Danny Green. And I was like, wait, what? And then like a year or two before that, they drafted Shannon Brown. And I was like, dude, Shannon Brown won a ring with the Lakers as a bench guy. Danny Green, I was like, hey, Danny Green hit that record threes against LeBron in the finals on the Spurs. I didn't realize that last Cavs year, Danny Green was on that team, and maybe LeBron gave him some extra motivation there in the finals to hit those threes.
Maybe.
So I just thought that was funny how LeBron's, quoted as, this great leader, and who has he led? He has to go to leaders. He had to go to Dwayne Wade, go to Pat Riley. It's like, the logic is just not there when speaking about LeBron, and that's I actually found that was hilarious.
Well, here's one more thing about Danny Green that I think you guys will find interesting. Scott, you probably already know more than you might know. He goes to the Raptors and is a crucial part of them winning that ring. He was like one of the top, if not the top, 3-point shooter in the league at that time. Yep. So what do the Lakers do? Oh, well, let's go grab him and add him onto the LeBron James super team. Danny Green doesn't even get mentioned. And what did the Lakers just go? Oh, well, this is the best 3-point shooter in the league, and he has multiple championships. Let's add him to LeBron's help, and people won't even mention him. In fact, it's going to hurt his legacy in the long run, because at some point in time, he's just going to get shat on all over by LeBron James. And I don't think that Danny Green had as good of a season with the Lakers as he had with the Raptors. But then you can't win that argument either, LeBron fans, because you say that LeBron makes people better. Time after time after time, he doesn't. He gets the caliber. He gets the caliber of players, the guys with the championship experience, the guys who are currently at the top of their game, brings them in, and then he just wastes them. Anyways,
yeah, that's his modus operandi. He has to sit back. He has to analyze, who can fit the LeBron system, and that's what they do. They go out and get those guys. It's a prime example when they were going up against the Warriors right now you guys tell me this, because I want to make sure I'm not mistaken on anything, but when has the defending champion best player on the team come out saying we need an effing playmaker, we're top heavy? I'm like, wait a minute, like AOS, you just said it. If you make the rumor is you make all these players better, so if your team is top heavy, why are you not improving the bottom half? I never heard Michael Jordan, after he won a championship en route to defending that title, saying, we're top heavy, we need to do this, we need to do that. I never heard Kobe Bryant saying that, or Steph Curry, or Tim Duncan. But I'm like, wait a minute. You just won the title coming back from 3-1, and you're top heavy? Well,
and you said that made you the greatest player of all time.
But I'm like, wait, how did you get top heavy? Because you told the organization to go get Kevin Love. Kyrie was already there, so we can't mention him. You told him to go get with Deron Williams. All these guys you wanted, they went in it, so you're still top heavy. And I remember Charles Barkley called him out, and Charles Barkley said, "I'm not attacking LeBron. I'm attacking what he's displaying. I'm attacking his behavior that he's putting forth." And LeBron came out, didn't say anything about what Charles Barkley said, and said Charles Barkley, he stayed out drunk and he threw a guy through a window, blah, blah. I mean, just a bunch of nonsense that had nothing to do with basketball, right? I'm like, wait
He
a
sounds
minute.
exactly like a LeBron fan. You can't stay on topic. You got to do these childish personal attacks on somebody.
And that's who they get it from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Makes
the
sense.
face of the league, though. The face of the league, though.
Hey, angry old hoops guy. I'm about to hit the hay, man. I've been up. I got an 8-month-old baby, and I'm tired. We've been
Hey,
up
drop
all
your
night.
email, bro. I want to chop it up with you about some stuff, man, off top.
All right. Yeah, it's Marion Gates at yahoo.com.
No, just put it in the private chat. I can
Private
screenshot.
chat.
I think I connected you guys on email, but I'll do it again.
Okay.
Sorry, Hoop Scott doesn't respond to any of my emails either, like sports and fitness rants.
So listen, I had to clean up my email, so now I'm starting to get them on time. So yeah,
that was the same thing that
process.
happened to me. I missed a whole angry old hoops email. I was like, man, I be having a lot going on too, though, with my kids and stuff. But I'm gonna definitely check the emails every day.
Go get
I
some
don't miss
sleep, man.
anything.
I appreciate that you made time for the show. Go have a good weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Guys, if you haven't, you see somebody shouted out my video. I was gonna kill this at 10:15, but we had a bunch of viewers. The members section voted that I should let everybody see the parody I did of awful coaching, LeBron James surgically destroying opponents. It's pretty entertaining. It's a short one, so go ahead and go and watch my latest release right after this one. And let me know what you think in the comments. Hoops God, thank you for hopping in. Would you like to do a sign off?
Oh man, I appreciate you bringing me on board, man. It's always great to come in here and talk basketball, expose these narratives being pushed out by the mainstream media. It's imperative that we destroy these narratives, man, until we chop it up again.
All right, maybe I'll see you Sunday. Have a great weekend otherwise.
Hey, yes, sir. Same to you.
All right, everybody. See if I missed any super thanks. I know that the comments were going by pretty fast. You get these LeBron fans that come in and copy and paste, and it really messes up the chat feed. Anyways, everybody, thank you for coming on. Didn't even get to some of the topics. We'll do it in the future. Go harass sports and fitness rants. We got to do some dual ranting, and go watch